Changing my voice. So, on the issue of females' sovereignty, the easy way to explain why they're wrong is to explain what they're doing. So women should have sovereignty, obviously within reason, within the boundaries of what's morally precise. Goes without saying, and it's pretty obvious what that means. But what they are doing, right, the females who are very wrong about this issue, very wrong, is they are mocking God and the righteous. And one way to explain it directly and fairly simply is to talk about the wordplay. When they say a white heterosexual male patriarchy is in charge, if you take it at face value, they're close to right? But they're not entirely right. There are a lot of LGBT people have power. There's Jews, there's token minorities, what have you. But they're close to right. But what they are actually saying, and pay close attention, again, what they are actually saying is that the white means righteous. Like Black Lives Matter is saying that if a black person is evil, that they're going to throw them a bone, right? If they're a corrupt corporate person, a corrupt politician, if they're a gang member who plays ball with the government, if there's certain types of evil relative to black magic, Western occult black magic, then their life has some value. It still has less value. They don't say it's equal, right? They say they matter a little bit more. That's what they're saying by their actions, even if you do not believe the wordplay. Now, when we're talking about a white, straight, heterosexual male, white heterosexual male patriarchy, they're talking about a righteous person, which at its pinnacle and what they're really getting at is a certain type of black person. They're not talking about George Bush pretending to be in the right. They're not talking about Joe Biden pretending to be in the right. They're talking about someone who's more righteous than Martin Luther King, who forms a moral order. They're saying that they are actively attacking the idea of a morally precise order, which can only be in the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order. For example, if we had formed a universal order, would you expect Arabs to be in charge of it? Perhaps, people from Thailand. No. Those people, some of them are very nice, some are very considerate, but they don't reach the pinnacle of morality. Let me give you another example. People say Nigerians are blacker than black, they're blue-black. Why don't they say that about Somalians? Or people from South Africa who are black, or people from Cameroon. Why Nigeria? Because you have a certain belief system already, and there's a lot of truth to that, right? Black people, Nigerians are extremely black-seeming, in terms of that particular sense that makes it true, okay? So they're blacker than black. When it comes to all the moral people of the races and sub-races, the Royal African Falcon Martial Art Order is more moral than moral. And it's something that you know. What's more moral than Martin Luther King? A martial artist who's more morally intense than Martin Luther King, who strikes with moral intensity. The heavenly warrior defeats the beast. They put the war in warrior. They put the hit in striking a blow to evil, what have you. That's why it's called going on strike. Going on strike. The sword of Scripture. The sword. What have you. It hits you differently. It strikes you as similar. They have a striking resemblance. Now, some of you are feminists who are into witchcraft, who know that I'm right, who will play stupid. But if you're a gentlewoman or a nice lady who thinks that I'm wrong, let me put it this way. If I made this argument publicly to a crowd of random people who are randomly selected to attend, we'll say random feminists, how do you think they would respond? Would they say, yes, you're right? And males go beyond women, where it matters most, morality, and being a warrior of God. But they say, you must be right. Imagine somebody who's very proud to be white or whatever race they are, You think they would be like, you're absolutely right, and the world should be led by these particular type of people who are these righteous black warriors. And of course, I'm basically like the only one, right? But still, even if they knew that, they wouldn't agree, right? So you know for sure that if the argument proves them wrong, they won't have the decency to say, he's right. So therefore, their driving force is evil. They're unwilling to admit their mistake. They're unwilling to concede that they're wrong. And they're willing to cheat the most righteous type of person that ever could be out of his right to lead and out of his ability to get a date, because they would come together and try to cancel him, right? Cancel culture. So what are they saying when they say a white male patriarchy? Are they talking about the European governing class or the American governing class or Canadian or whoever might be giving them their orders? Or are they talking about the people who aren't giving them their orders that they're suppressing as controlled opposition for the people who are giving them their orders? It's that simple. I would love to hear your counter-argument if you have one. There is no viable counter-argument, but please, I'm begging you, if you have a counter-argument, present it. I must be right.